Marcus Velez here with Lab 270. I am the Creatives Director, and today I wanted to jump into a short tutorial on how to set up a sick photo shoot for some awesome kitchen knives from the Cooking Guild. Let's check it out. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the rest of these knives, wipe them down, and get them all laid out on this board. Now that we got all the knives opened up and laid out here, I need to go through and make sure every single one of these knives is wiped down and spotless. Awesome. Now that we've got them all wiped down, we're gonna set up for a shot with just one of these knives. I'm gonna use a scrim, got a single flash, and go over the basics on how to set this up properly. First off, we have our kind of backdrop slash background that we're gonna be using here, which are these beautiful pieces of almost like a barn style type of wood. It's just a bit darker, not so like weathered and old looking, so it's going to look better with these knives. Matter of fact, I think we'll probably go with this one since it's got the logo there in their handle, which I think will be pretty cool. Anyways, so we're going to use this. Ignore the piece of granite I have laying here, but our main light source, because we're going to want a very, very, very soft light, kind of almost like a gradient type of style to kind of hit this this knife from an angle. So as you can see, I have my strip box right here with my strobe connected up above. I'm also going to take my scrim here that I'm using for the video light, and I'm going to angle that out this way. So I'm gonna have like a double diffusion happening, and we'll be able to kind of get that soft light effect. Now, what I'll do here is get this set up and then change the camera angle and get that set up as well. So you can see basically how the setup is going to look. Now that we are all set up here on our backdrop with the angle that we like, now mind you, we will be cropping in just a bit on this shot, but you can kind of see the gradient effect. Now I put my video light specifically for the sake of this video, the tutorial, right over here. I have another light off to the left over here as well. So it's not giving an exact representation of what the knife is going to look like straight out of camera for the shot that we are trying to get here. So I am going to change camera views, and I'm going to change my camera settings, get this photo so you guys can see it. So you can kind of see exactly how it looks. All right, now that we had gotten that shot, as you saw in that last clip, the knife kind of had a bit too much reflection coming from the scrim, from like midsection up to the point. We don't want that. We want a very smooth, seamless look all the way across the knife. That is very important to get a very, very clean look for this very unique knife. So we've lowered the softbox and then angled it more at an angle, that being lower with the scrim as well, to kind of get that reflection off of the knife. Since the knife is facing towards the camera and is at kind of a slant, that should help remove that. So the settings that I'm running right now are f18, ISO's at about 400. I don't like to go above 400 just for the sake of trying to keep the shot as clean as possible in camera and keeping the grain to a minimum. Again, very important. And then like I said, we're shooting at f18, and then shutter speed I'm playing with, I'm probably like right at about like 1/60th of a second right now. You just have to play with it to, you know, see where your light meter is kind of telling you where the balance is on that. So I'm gonna set up again, reposition the camera to get the second shot, which you guys are gonna see here in just a second. All right, so we got the shot we were looking for, right? So with all of the correct changes that we made, we were able to, well, let me just go over the changes really quick. So what we did is took the knife, as you see here, this is exactly how it was set up. So I took basically a thumbtack, I set it behind the knife to get it just a little bit of an angle forward facing the camera. This freaking pole, right? That way I would lose the reflection from the flash strip box, basically that's behind the knife. So as you can see in the photo, basically you have a really nice highlighted line from the flash all the way across the top of the knife, down the handle to the very tip, which is perfect. It's exactly what we wanted. Everything is lit perfectly. So basically the double diffusion, the scrim and the strip box with the strobe did its job perfectly. But there was one thing that needed to be fixed outside of the adjustments that we made. Again, we had the camera settings the same. There weren't any changes made. The ISO was still at about 400. Now your settings are going to differ depending on what type of strobe you are using as well. That's gonna make a big difference. Lenses also make a big difference too. I'm shooting on a 2.8 16-35 G Master on the Sony a7R II, so I am getting mad megapixels, 42 to be exact, with a top of the line, best of the best lens, because you want it to basically just be as much detail as possible. So what was happening before the last adjustment that we made, before we weren't getting enough light basically on the face of the knife, right? So what I did is I took a piece of foam core board, white to be exact, as you can see here. I held that in front of the camera, basically back up against the tripod behind the lens so you wouldn't see it. Basically, so it was at an angle like this, and the camera was shooting down through here. So that light from the flash was bouncing off of the card back onto the knife, which gave you a perfectly even glow or a perfectly lit knife all the way across, while still maintaining those highlights from the flash on the back side of the knife, bringing that detail out and just kind of emphasizing the knife a bit more in the photo, because that's what it's centered around to begin with. So mission accomplished. Again, thanks for tuning in and watching this tutorial. My name is Marcus Velez. I'm the creative director with Lab 270. Until next time.